Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. We have VIP weekly hospitality tickets for the Black Desert Championship 2024 Professional Golf Association Tour FedEx Cup. They're available now at blackdesertevents.com. The full field event is set to take place on the 19-hole championship Tom Weiskopf designed golf course at Black Desert from October 9th through October 13th. This marks a historic return of the PGA Tour to Utah. After more than 6 decades, it does not get more beautiful than that. I love that. I love that freaking promo video. It's so intense. It's so inspiring. Just start saying like a tradition like in no other.
Ooh.
What if we start saying that?
Well, that would be awesome if you ever got to that level.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, we had the governor's debate, the gubernatorial debate. We had our sitting governor, Spencer Cox, go up against Phil Lyman, who is a representative and has a lot of signs in a lot of different places. It's actually a very boring debate.
The fireworks didn't materialize because I didn't watch it.
There were no fireworks.
I was just waiting for you to report back, and I was hoping for a good story.
No fireworks. They were pretty cordial with each other. They seemed to agree with each other on everything. There was very little disagreement. It's an interesting strategy from Lyman in particular, who has been so aggressive everywhere else.
Yeah.
To not really bring that same type of campaigning that he has been doing to the debate stage. It's interesting, but they really did not disagree on anything. It was only after these debates, they do like press conferences with the media, and the media like asking like, "Oh, what'd you think of that debate?" We should just do those.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're doing the debate. We should just do the media thing. Anyways, and then a little bit like Spencer Cox said, campaigns bring out the worst in people. We've certainly seen that with my opponent's campaign. I'm sad that it's so much easier to lie and tear down your opponent down. I'm sad that my opponent has done it. He didn't do it tonight. He didn't do it to my face. Ooh!
So the fireworks are flying and the after hours back and forth.
But he apparently is willing to say and do anything to tear down and get elected. And then Lyman says, we see things differently. I'm a bottom-up kind of power dynamic person. Cox is very much a top-down power dynamic person. I think the comparisons at stock is stark.
Yeah. They're both from rural Utah, though, right?
You could read that so weird. Like, Lyman's a bottom and Cox is a top. That's so weird. What are they talking about?
Power dynamics.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So they don't really disagree with anything at all.
To each other's face. Because
to each other's face.
It sounds like they disagree about a lot.
But if you go, that's exactly right. In the debate, there wasn't too much disagreement. But supposedly they disagree with each other on quite a bit. Like DEI, the governor is getting flack for it. In some interview, he gave his pronouns at one point. It said he, him, his. And Lyman's like, we don't do that around here.
So yeah, some do, some don't.
So that's what we're debating.
Yeah, too bad they didn't pull the gloves off and have a little bit of fun. It'd be much better if it was like a hockey fight. Have the fun, entertain people, and then don't crap top after.
Who do you think would win in a fight between these two?
I don't know.
I think people would immediately say Lyman because he's big and all that type of stuff. But I think Cox is a little bit more nimble, a little bit more squirrely.
Yeah.
Probably has a great right hook. I don't know.
Probably.
I think it's a toss-up.
Again, if there's no like animosity afterwards, who cares? Get it all out there.
That actually would be far better if these candidates just fought each other in the ring and whoever won is who we like. That would be better.
But you have to be a politician first because we don't want a bunch of UFC fighters governing the state. They're like, okay, finally, my lifelong ambitions to be governor are going to be fulfilled.
So I don't know what's going on here. Abraham Lincoln did this. He wrestled. As you can see here, Weston has the History Channel website up.
I'll be damned.
Big Abe did it. Good old Abe, honest Abe, arguably, and by most polls, our greatest president ever, is what people say.
So we all have friends that are like left of Trotsky and then libertarians
I don't.
and everything in between.
I don't have anyone left of Trotsky, dude.
I do.
That's crazy. Left of Trotsky.
That's insane.
But like when you're talking to an actual like dyed in the wool libertarian, I have zero beef with Governor Cox. I think he's good and hangs out in that middle zone nicely. But like they have genuine beef with the things he says and the way he does it. But he's got kind of the scoreboard, right, of like everything's kind of firing on all 8 cylinders here in the state of Utah.
I think that's probably Lyman's biggest problem. There certainly are a lot of folks who are not happy with, disagree better, maybe the overall tone and tenor that he's not seen as like somebody who gets in the mud, and they don't like that. They want people who kind of get in the mud. They want him to be more of like a DeSantis, who's kind of like in the controversy every day, fighting for what they believe in, that type of stuff. And so that's probably his vulnerability in a Republican primary, is they want, they seem to like people like Trump and DeSantis, and he's obviously neither one of those people. He's his own person. He's a farmer from Fairview, and does seem like a moderate Republican to a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And in today's Republican Party, I imagine that means they view him as a Democrat. Because they kind of want purity over there, which is their right. I mean, they're voters. They can want whatever they want. And Lyman is promising to be more like DeSantis and Trump. And I think that kind of more bombastic, more in your grill, more standing up to media.
Yeah.
Standing up to different ideologies they don't like, particularly woke.
Yeah.
And like the DEI stuff and all that type of stuff, I do think like there's a lot of pushback on that type of stuff right now, obviously everywhere. It hasn't worked, right? So it's like, what are we doing here? And that was a big part of Cox's early administration, was back when that was at its apex and it wasn't a political issue. He did, seem to support that, at least in some ways. So but then again, like, okay, I may disagree or agree with him on that. That has no material impact on the state of Utah.
No.
That's like a personality thing.
Yep. Complete personality.
That's what that seems like to me. Like, that seems like he did veto a transgender bill that they don't like. I think there's like one transgender athlete in all of Utah high school sports. So again, not like a major issue in this state. But they don't like that. So, but everything else, like, I can't imagine. I don't know what Lyman would do too much differently
Probably not a lot.
than Spencer Cox. I really don't know what you would do. We also, like, we don't talk about this enough in the state, but the governor is not as powerful as the legislature in the state of Utah. And it really depends on the legislature as much as it does the governor. The governor kind of has the bully pulpit. He has the microphone. He's able to veto things, but they can override him, and they do.
Yeah.
And so that part's really interesting too. I don't really. I've invited representative. We've interviewed Spencer Cox a number of times. He's always invited here. I've invited Representative Lyman to come on the show as well to kind of get into these details, because I admittedly have not followed it.
Yeah.
Exactly what the differences are beyond like the culture issues, which sure, I understand why people would go all in on that and be excited about it. But the governor of our state, I'm not sure the actual like policy and what they do every day. I'm not sure that he's going to make an impact one way or another on transgender athletes or DEI or any of these types of things, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It was an interesting debate. I actually expected major fireworks,
Yeah, too bad.
given Lyman had been out there and so aggressively, and today is aggressively attacking again, but it wasn't. And interestingly, Lyman is not in person, like a Trump or a DeSantis, he does kind of seem a little soft-spoken and thoughtful, and like he's not like. It was interesting. I don't know. Yeah. There's a weird disconnect there.
Yeah.
You would think, like, by the way, he's losing. That doesn't mean he will lose, but he is losing. You would think he would go all out. And, like, this is my one, they only debate this one time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to throw the whole kitchen sink at this guy and see what happens. But he really didn't.
Yep.
I don't know what that means. And
Calculated.
maybe that's the smart thing to do, actually, because he's trying to, he already has the right, and he's trying to get the more moderate base. And so,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it plenty.
How crazy is that? That was an intense analysis.
Yeah, well done.
Jeez.
That was a wild analysis.
There's
Moving on.
the pride of UVU there.
There you go. There's your political analysis for the day. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, so Smith Entertainment Group, we know a little something about them. Ryan Smith's group, who owns the Utah Jazz, our NHL team, potentially a Major League Baseball team. They yesterday revealed more plans to make over downtown Salt Lake City and the area around the Delta Center as part of an effort to ensure the urban core is vibrant well into the future. This is from the Deseret News story written by Dennis Romboy. Romboy? Romboy.
It's a sweet name.
Romboy, our good friend Mike Mon, who has really become a forward-facing figure after all these years of being in the shadows. Congratulations to him. He's like out there.
Yep.
He's quoted as saying, "This is not a sports and entertainment district. This is sports, entertainment, culture, and convention district. I think the reason that's so important to point out is that it fundamentally changes the makeup of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how it all comes together." He says that SEG intends to invest $3 billion in this project.
Mm-hmm.
If everything comes together, renovations of the Delta Center would start next April. The timeline for everything else would be coordinated with Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County. The future of Abravanel Hall, which is operated by Salt Lake County, and redesigning the Salt Palace Convention Center weren't part of the proposals he presented to the council, but he said he would be considered in phase 2. Here's Mon again. I love quoting Mike Mon. This is fun. "A lot of things have come together for us. Before we move a single brick, we need to make sure that everyone is taken care of. Our worst case scenario is that we go remodel the arena and create this amazing arena and nothing else changes downtown. They are going to change, revitalize, reconstruct downtown Salt Lake City. And why not?"
Yeah. A couple of blocks of it. Like, we're not building the Hoover Dam here.
Why not? Just tear it down and start over. I don't care.
This is a funny Utah thing, right? Like, the city council of Salt Lake City, last I checked, was different than a lot of the other city councils in the state.
Well, it's a Democrat.
Yes.
I think. The county, Salt Lake County, is actually Republican.
Barely, yeah.
Barely, but. Yeah.
So, it's funny, you've got the LDS Church, Smith Entertainment Group, and then the city. And, we've interacted a lot with Mr. Mon, and this group, it's local politics, local governance 101. There's going to be checks and balances, and when somebody shows up in 15 years and this is what it is, they'll just assume it was always this way, but there's going to be all sorts of back and forth to get it to what it needs to be. It looks cool.
So kind of the controversy, this is actually another area kind of touching on our first story of the day that Lyman is hitting Cox on for some reason. Again, Lyman, come on this show. Explain yourself. He does not like that this is happening. Earlier this year, the Utah legislature with Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County support passed legislation allowing the creation of a downtown revitalization zone. Under the law, the city could raise its current 7.75% sales tax rate 0.5%, pushing it to 8.25% over no more than 30 years to help remodel the arena. That tax increase could generate in the neighborhood of $900 million. So SEG, Ryan Smith, is saying, I'll put $3 billion in. The state, can you put $900 million in? I can understand on its face why maybe somebody like Phil Lyman wouldn't like taxpayers paying any of this.
Sure. It all boils down to people when it's done, having memories and smiling and happy faces. Like, all the battle scars will be long forgotten. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you come to Salt Lake City for a convention or whatever, you wouldn't say it needs a revitalization.
Yeah, we always had Summit at Delta Center last fall. And every speaker we brought in, this is the cleanest city I've ever been to. I love this city. And we kind of I look at Salt Lake City and I'm like,
Yeah. It's
But
a pain in the ass to get around. Otherwise, it's pretty
I
good.
hate driving up there, though. If I lived there, I would love it. But I live all the way down in Mapleton.
Yeah.
So that drive just sucks. It's
Yeah.
really the drive that I hate, not the city.
Yeah.
City itself is just fine.
Yeah, as cities go, it's great.
It has a Starbucks.
Yeah.
It has bars. It has a theater.
It's got everything.
I'm not sure what you'd want.
It's got
what else do
everything.
you want in a city? Actually, I don't even.
But it's sleepy, right? They're trying really hard to make it not sleepy, but it's still sleepy because there's a billion other things to do other than go downtown.
There was someone from the Tribune, I can't remember who, when I was saying that I was trolling on Twitter that Utah County is better than Salt Lake County, and it actually is. So that's actually not a troll. I actually believe that.
Well, but most of the counties in the state are better than both those.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, then like San Pete and these other like
infinitely better.
Do have I'm like we can't compete with you. I'm just saying Salt Lake. Anyways, he said like how many museums? I can't remember who this was. Anyways, he said like how many museums are in Utah County? Like museums. I like went on field trips to museums when I was like 5. What museums am I going to as a grown adult? That'd be so crazy, like walking into a museum. Can you imagine like walking into like a dinosaur museum right now at our age?
Yes, I can. You're painting yourself in a bad light right now. Because yes, I can. Like they're an important part of the fabric of our society.
Some sort of art museum.
Exactly.
Tear them all down. Let's revitalize.
What do you want to put? Apartments?
Every 20 years, we should just tear everything down and build it up again.
No. Art museums.
Like, oh, there were dinosaurs here. Great. Are we still going to die? Yeah. So what's the point?
All right. Now you're seeing the Utah County come out of Clint. We don't need no damn museums.
We don't need museums. We need a cure for death. I don't know.
Lucky in the whole state, there's amazing museums up and down from Springville to Logan.
Spring Art City Museum.
I want Garrett to name one.
Yeah, tell us your favorite.
Tell us a museum
Tell
in
us your
Springville.
top
Museum of
3
Natural History.
Utah museums.
Museum of Natural. Hold on, I'll get on it.
No.
Let me see that. What's the website?
Also,
Get the
Weston's
website.
talking.
Westerner, can people hear you?
Holy
Yes.
Shit.
Oh my gosh. Just pull up a website. What's your top 3?
Yeah, Utah Museum of Natural History.
Where's that
Springville
at?
Art Museum. No, we're not doing this. We have amazing art and culture, which is important to a democracy.
Shut up.
You
That's so
freaking
dumb.
Spanish fork inbred.
That was the dumbest thing you've ever said. We have important art and culture that's important for democracy.
It is.
Those two things have nothing to do with each other.
One enables the other.
Democracy creates museums.
Go hang out in Yemen and see if they have any art and culture. It's an
Have they
important
cured
part.
death?
They have.
Have they cured
no.
death?
People
Then I
need to
won't.
die. We all can't live to be 100 and eat steak every day.
Yeah, so I don't even know why we focus on anything every day, knowing that we're going to die relatively soon.
I can't. I'm sorry to our listeners for the.
All right, here's a crazy story that we have to talk about, I guess, given that this is a tech and business podcast. Big exclusive story out today in the Wall Street Journal about our good friend Elon Musk. The title is Elon Musk's Boundary Blurring Relationships with Women at SpaceX. A pretty long story about how he likes to have sexual relations with employees, how he asks employees to have his babies. By the way, they say yes.
They do.
So that's not like, I'm not really sure if anything was wrong.
No, this is an entertaining read, and I didn't get all the way down, but it's
One
pretty
woman
well
said,
chronicled.
nothing that Elon Musk did towards me during either of my periods of employment at SpaceX was predatory or wrongful in any way. So I think that he just wants like lots of babies.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Elon babies.
Yes.
And so he's just like looks around the room every once in a while. I was like, you look like you'd be a good mom.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's well chronicled in the biography. Like, that's
Could
what
I
he does.
see you in the conference room?
It's pretty black and white there.
So there are some things like Elon has asked one woman to have her babies, and I don't think she liked it. A fourth woman had a month-long sexual relationship with him in 2014. The relationship ended badly, of course. There's only one way a relationship with Elon is going to end.
Badly.
There's not going to be a good ending.
No.
He's not going to marry you.
Probably not.
We're talking about Elon Musk here. Other behavior included his use of illegal drugs. That's cool. It's raised concern among some executives and board members of SpaceX and Tesla. He's used drugs, according to the Wall Street Journal. Who knows if this is true? He's used LSD, cocaine, ecstasy, mushrooms, and ketamine. That's cool. A good list.
Yeah, well, I don't think he would deny that. Or he might, I don't know. But he's admitted to a lot of things.
It doesn't seem like a terrible list.
No, I wouldn't know, but...
Like, I'm glad heroin's not in there, or meth, or some of these other ones, but that doesn't seem like the worst list in the world.
The real danger here is that he'll charge too hard to the hoop and there will be no more Elon.
So
because those things will eventually get you.
Here's one story. This is like a big news story. This is maybe the news story of the day.
Oh, yeah.
In 2017, Musk personally contacted the former intern of SpaceX about a full-time job at SpaceX, which would be to find problems at the company.
Yeah.
I can't even read that straight. He reaches out to a former intern and says, "Hey, you want a full-time job where you just kind of find problems and fix them?"
Mm-hmm.
At SpaceX. And then I guess she comes in and he's like, "Actually, can you just have my babies?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." And then Elon says, "Tried to rekindle our relationship prior, rejected the advances. While there was some initial awkwardness, there was nothing out of the ordinary after a rejection." She told friends that she was unhappy at SpaceX, had no authority, and had trouble getting executives to take her ideas seriously. That's why I laughed earlier. What would that actually mean? So he would text her a lot. I don't know. Like, what part of this? I mean, you read this. What part of this did you see that stands out to you?
Nothing. Like, it's his MO, and it's pretty well chronicled. This is a big one, but it's been chronicled for almost 2 decades now. And he's pretty blatant about it. And he'll still be the CEO of 3 companies or 4 companies tomorrow.
He was texting, so somehow we have their texts.
In an affidavit?
This is so weird. So, yeah, so they have text. Anyways, he's holding hands with a bunch of women in the piece. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Like, why would we think like he's like a buttoned up stake president? This is Elon Musk, the richest person in the world.
And
maybe the smartest person in the world. And he wants to have lots of babies.
And he's wildly impulsive, makes poor decisions, makes good decisions. It's amazing he's still alive.
I should be clear, I've not fully read this. There were some funny ones that I saw, like there's talks about missed booty calls. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems
it's a
like
big long read.
It's a very long read. So everyone who wants to know about what we already know about Elon, go ahead and read that. I don't know what that is, other than he did a lot of drugs and he asked a lot of women that work for him to have their babies. Some said yes, some said no.
Works hard, parties hard.
Yeah.
You could sum it up like that.
How many kids does he have?
Like Baker's dozen now, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's a big fan of that.
The more the better, I say.
It says 11.
11.
That's just first.
He has 11
searches.
But he'll end up probably closer to like a Muslim sheik that has many wives. I bet he ends up
How
with
many
20
do
or
they have?
30.
Ooh, good for him.
Yeah.
A lot of Elons running around.
Yeah.
There's one that he likes more than all the other ones. It's X.
Yeah. Until the next baby comes along.
Imagine being the other 10. It's like he clearly likes X the most. Yeah, that's the one he likes the most, is this little guy.
Yeah.
Which, look at him. Of course you would.
Yep.
All right, so we recently talked to Brad Moss, the founder and CEO of Enhanced AI. Did you talk to him?
Yeah. Really fun. Because AI has been all the rage for a couple of years now, but he broke it down really nicely. It's interesting to learn how this model is going to be monetized. Enhanced AI is kind of a sit-in-the-middle, sticky platform that enables a lot of companies, corporations, and even individuals to leverage AI without kind of being an expert, from my understanding. I think I'm going to give it a try, give her a go, and report back. But serial entrepreneur.
Enhance your AI. What AI do you have to enhance?
Well, you'll see once I have this platform.
Oh my gosh.
Serial entrepreneur, really great experience and resume. Did a lot of video game development, saw a problem, and now is using this company to leverage it and help solve it.
So the full interview is on all Silicon Slopes platforms now, siliconslopes.com, YouTube, everywhere you listen to podcasts. Here is a quick clip of it.
Where did you guys decide to find these clients first? And is there fields that are easier for AI to help with, and there are some more difficult?
Yeah, so we're primarily targeting, as we've done some market research of just like, what are the people struggling with AI? I'm not struggling with AI, that's the wrong phrase. It's more people who are needing to use it and feeling the potential impact of it. We found a lot of consultants, both in advertising and marketing, brand consultants, tech consultants, can really use AI in a really effective way right now with the current technology. And many of them are being bombarded with, hey, tell me the latest this, or their clients are like, well, are you using AI? And are you doing these things? So they're getting so many questions from so many people, and creating a platform where they're like, hey, I'm using more than just ChatGPT or ChatGPT agents or this other one, a platform where they can try it all and find the best result for what they need to accomplish for their clients. And then also this platform has like automation in it. So you can create these automated workflows in it that, I could take a business report, I've taken a financial analysis or financial document and said, hey, here's the things I want to know, and give me, opinions. And AI's actually, if you do it the right way, it actually gives you pretty good outcome. And so it helps the consultants both solve problems because they see so many problems as well. And there's like no one tool that can solve that.
Yeah.
But then they also can scale their time and what they're coming out with. So that's, we love, we have a great relationship with a lot of consultant groups, and this is really who we, we're coming out with the product, focusing on helping people scale their time and their consultancies.
What they need to do, these AI folks, to enhance is solve death.
Oh my gosh. Why do you want to live forever?
I don't really, but there's this great Norm Macdonald bit where he's like, I go to the doctor. They're like, oh, we cured your whatever, emphysema. We cured your emphysema. And Norm's like, oh, cool. Am I still going to die? And the doctor's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. See ya.
You're on this death bit. You had another interesting take because it was, the dangers of AI, whether it's robots killing us all, which sounds like you're not in favor of, but
It'll be fine. I mean, we're all going to die anyways. I don't really care how it happens.
Yeah. And it goes back to a little bit of like, Spencer Cox disagree better, but, soon enough, you'll be able to have interactions and talk with AI, and it could help you, but it could also be a conversationalist. And he foresees a little bit of an issue with your little AI buddy just agreeing with you on everything. Oh, yeah. These people suck, and this is the only way to do things. And then when they have to interact with the real human, and they say, no, you suck, your job, you didn't do a good job, or you're wrong, they lose their mind, right? Like a toddler.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting take. First time I'd ever heard that.
You know what would be cool is if Elon made an AI where he could ask the AI to have his babies.
You think that's
and
his
then you have
probably
little
ultimate
Elon
goal.
AI babies.
Guaranteed every time he's talking, he's like, and we're going to need a computer chip planted in their brains as soon as they're born. They're going to be half. They're going to be 33% you, 33% me, 33% a robot.
Yeah, that Elon's a different level. He just like looks around whatever room he's in. He's like, I want to have a kid with her. And then he probably has his lawyer approach her with some paperwork.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, Aaron, fill this out.
It's probably one of his robot drones. It's like, well, I couldn't actually talk to a human, so I can't sue this robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
The robot's just over there.
He's a smart guy. He's a really smart guy. The logo, the great Jerry West passed away either last night or this morning. I found out about it this morning. 86 years old, I believe. Lakers legend. Only NBA player ever to win NBA Finals MVP after losing the NBA Finals. He's the only player to ever do that.
Yeah.
And obviously he is the logo of the entire NBA. His hands are all over the drafting of Kobe Bryant. Knew Jordan very well. Obviously played a role with LeBron and Lakers and various things. Was a big part of the Warriors' success.
Golden State, yeah.
And that's all after his playing career, but he was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
So yeah, very sad.
And a gentleman. Stayed above the fray, kind, respectful, benevolent.
He looked like, in his prime, he looked a lot like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Too. So a very attractive man.
Understood the game, but understood people probably better.
Yeah. Very attractive.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
No, well, I was talking about his acumen and his civility, his manners being impeccable.
So we have a current president, Joe Biden.
Yes.
And every once in a while he'll get in front of a microphone and try to speak into it. And he did that recently. And our boy Edward Snowden, who is a expat in Russia.
Take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about. Well, guess what? They need F-15s. They don't need a rifle. By the way, if they want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about. Well, guess what? They need F-15s. They don't need a rifle.
So, I think what he's trying to say there is, hey, if the people want to rise up and take down the government because the government's not doing what we told them to do, they don't need assault rifles. They need F-15s.
Yeah.
And our boy Edward Snowden, good friend of ours, good friend of the program,
Not.
said, hey, the Second Amendment says arms, not guns.
Yeah.
And the people should have F-16s?
15s. Oh, is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
I interpreted it as, I think he was talking to an anti-gun group there, and that you shouldn't even have guns.
How can you be anti-gun? It's such a weird thing to be. Like, I'm against guns. It's like, great. Are you against snow?
Well, no, you can be
Are you against winter?
against guns. You just can't be against people owning guns.
What do you mean? Like, guns are a reality of life.
Yeah, but you can still not like them.
Yeah, you don't have one.
Yeah.
Who cares? Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. There's lots of people that don't.
Yeah, just don't have a gun. Or don't. Like, I don't know.
The beef is
Shouldn't
like
be
when
your
you want to
identity.
take somebody else's away. Right?
Yeah, good luck taking somebody's gun away. That's so weird.
Cold dead hands.
The government has a monopoly on violence. That's what keeps the government in place.
Large scale, kinetic violence.
Yeah, more than anything else is like, we all kind of live under these rules and we're like, oh, it's like the biggest corporation in the history of the world and all that type of stuff. And it's true, but they have F-15s.
They have F-15s, 16s, 18s, 22s, 23s.
They have all these, let's just say planes and military artillery.
Yeah.
That the average company, like a Silicon Slopes, an entity, does not have.
Right.
So we kind of have to listen to them.
Yeah, it would be bloody at the beginning.
Primarily because of that.
Yeah.
Like, we're not all like, oh, we really respect Joe Biden. That's why we're listening. It's like, no. There's a lot of F-15s.
Well, again, we're going down a very dark path here. You would hope that most people, even if they don't like Biden, are respecting him because of the office and the great nation of America. Not that they would turn weapons Like, what? You guys didn't like the tax increase? Scramble the bombers.
All right, we're going to drone you. What they really have is drones. Forget all the other stuff.
Helicopters.
So I think what he's saying, and he's accurately saying it in a very inarticulate, mumbly way, is you can't beat us militarily.
Yeah, he was throwing the gauntlet to the rednecks, right?
Yeah.
And that's a debate for another day on who wins that one.
Well, I think the government does.
Well, they win at the beginning. But eventually,
Whoa.
those need gas and jet fuel. And
Oh.
that comes from the private sector.
Okay. Well, we're not suggesting an uprising.
Of course not. That's
We're
what
gonna get
imbecilic countries
We're
do.
going to get a YouTube warning. Just live a regular life. Just try to be normal.
But it's imprudent for a president to say, all right, here's my players, here's yours. You are outgunned.
What he should say, what a competent and great leader would say, is these are our
Are.
F-15s, drones, all that type of stuff. Like, we're in this together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of divisive language inside of that. Finally, some good news. There was a birth in Yellowstone. Pull that up.
Yes. We're going to end this on a high note.
Yeah, there was a white buffalo calf in Yellowstone, which has fulfilled a Lakota prophecy.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
as
that
cute
cool?
as it gets.
And what is the Lakota prophecy?
It's a pretty big deal. It's akin, at least in this article, like the second coming of Christ. But it's a harbinger for good things to come. It goes back to when they were having struggles thousands of years ago, and a baby buffalo, white buffalo, was born. It comes with prophecies of good stuff is coming. And I don't know if you've ever heard like Lakota chants and songs, but they are very, very beautiful. Lakota Sioux.
Oh, there it is. It says, for the Lakota, the birth of a white buffalo calf with a black nose, eyes, and hoofs is akin to the second coming of Jesus Christ, Looking Horse said.
There it is. 2,000 years ago,
Whoa.
things were not good.
Jeez.
Buffalo are disappearing.
Huh.
But one was born and
So that's a good
things were
thing.
good.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the groundhog didn't see a shadow, or did.
Infinitely
good?
better. Well, it depends on if you want to keep skiing or
Far
not.
cuter.
Yeah.
So congratulations to all of us, humanity.
Little does that little white buffalo know how popular he
Fate
is.
of the world is on his
He's just like,
shoulders.
doo-doo-doo. And everyone's like,
Fate of the world.
now you're a little bit worried about those wolves. My guess is
I'm not.
that white buffalo is going to get a preferential treatment.
The white buffalo, like all of us, will die. And that is how we will end today's show. You will die. See you tomorrow.
Gosh damn it.